Hello everyone, Pallytum here. Welcome back to Heroes of the Storm. Finally back recording again. It's actually been a while. A little over a week since I've sat down to record. We are going to be playing as Jim Raynor today because there have been some recent changes that basically have people saying he's one of the best range assassins in the game. I can't quite figure out what I'm doing wrong, so maybe we'll figure that out today. I tend to lose a lot. But we'll be talking about Raynor and why he has basically had this recent change in the public perception. That was a sentence, right? Yeah. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, on today's video we're going to be playing on the Tomb of the Spider Queen. Let's help out with this little golden goblin here. We are going to be picking up Seasoned Marksman at level 1. I am using the build that is most popular right now, and I'll try to explain why it's popular. Hi, friends. So basically, Jim Raynor before this last patch, his Q was his main damage-dealing source, and you would pick up several talents throughout leveling up that would buff the damage of your Q ability. Your Q ability, of course, is Penetrating Round, which, like, knocks people back and deals damage. The problem with this is that it's your only escape as well. I think when the Butcher patch came out, don't quote me on that, though, because it may not be right. When the Butcher patch came out, Jim Raynor received some changes and all of a sudden started getting a lot more play. Jim Raynor is really good, actually, at countering the majority of melee assassins. For instance, the Butcher charges in, you hit the Butcher with your Q, he goes flying backwards. We may actually be able to showcase that today if I can get the timing right. Zeratul, for instance, I just found out yesterday while playing Zeratul, that if Jim Raynor picks the Banshees, he could send those bad boys in right on top of Zeratul, and they will continue to follow Zeratul even if Zeratul goes into stealth again. So even if the Banshees are not attacking Zeratul and Zeratul is in stealth, they will hover over him, essentially telling you exactly where he is, even if he goes very far away in the fog of war. That was infuriating. That has to be a bug. I see that getting fixed relatively soon, but it is a way that Jim Raynor is once again countering a melee assassin. He's also pretty good versus Kerrigan. After she does her combo, typically Jim Raynor is going to be able to heal. So the majority of the intricacies when playing Raynor are just positioning, because really that's all you really have to worry about. Your W ability is an attack speed. Is it only attack speed? Attack speed for 6 seconds. Yeah, so it's an attack speed increase, so every time you go into a fight, you want to hit your W when you're trying to do some meaningful damage. I mean, we could poke at these guys all day. We're not going to be able to push a Butcher and Charism out of lane. But, you know, you hit your W. If things are looking bad, you shoot someone with your Q, and then you walk away. Your E ability is passive healing that kicks in if your health gets too low. So really, what do you have to worry about in combat? It's not really a whole lot of anything. You just have to worry about where you're standing. Jim Raynor also has his trait that increases his attack range, so he actually can attack further away than most other ranged assassins in the game, which, I mean, if you play him to a high caliber, means that he's going to be pretty safe. The problem before, as I mentioned, was you had to use your only form of crowd control as an escape to help you get away. In today's video, we are building the highest performing build right now. You are missing out on some survivability, though. Also, a big part of playing Raynor is just figuring out like who you can and when you can trade with people. Like, just stand your ground and shoot them in the face. That comes with practice, that comes with time, and those are two things that I do not have a lot of on Jim Raynor, so today will be an interesting day. But this build is going to focus almost 100% around the idea of just making us attack harder, you know, increasing our attack damage, boosting our attack speed with our W, and then shooting as many bullets into someone's face as we possibly can. We probably are going to deviate at level 16, but I mean, it's going to be pretty straightforward. Tomb of the Spider Queen is a great map for gathering stacks. We picked up Seasoned Marksman at level 1. This is going to increase our attack damage. Here we go. The Butcher comes in. I guess I didn't time it right. We're going to be increasing our attack damage whenever we're near a minion that dies. And when the lanes are as short as they are here, or as small as they are here, we could theoretically be jumping back and forth between middle and top fairly easily. Whenever you see Asmodans in the pro scene, they're usually on this map just because Asmodan is able to generate stacks so easy on this map because the lanes are so close together. You know, when they're going for the Spirit Bomb build and things like that. Same thing kind of applies to Seasoned Marksman. While this is pushed, I could head down here and get stacks and then return to the top lane. And I'm really not missing out on any XP by doing that, but I am generating more stacks. The enemy team's Gem Raider going to the middle, not too worried about it. Our Tyrande appears to be AFK. That's alright. Sonya actually is a pretty good counter to Raynor right now from what I can tell. He is pretty good versus the majority of melee assassins though. I know she's a warrior, but she has a very melee assassin-ish playstyle because that's words and things. The English language is at my command. So we're going to knock him back. He can charge me now, and he knows it. Probably going to be able to kill me here. The healing on your E ability does take a little bit of time to kick in. So basically all that happened right there was the Butcher knew that once my Q was off cooldown, he could kill me, and then he jumped right when he could. Anyway, Seasoned Marksman, we're going to be gathering that up. Every 6 minions that die nearby are going to give me a stack, so we get 6 mini stacks and then a big stack. And the big stacks increase your attack damage by 1. So effectively right now we have 9 stacks, which means we are hitting for 9 more damage every single time we auto-attack. We are going to be going for Revolution Overdrive at level 7, which is going to allow me to use Inspire and then get a movement speed increase as well. This is great for repositioning in the middle of fights and also just great for overall mobility increases because mobility is something that Raynor suffers from. Or a lack of mobility, I guess I should say, is something that Raynor suffers from. We're just going to trade into these guys. Not really expecting to do too much damage here, but they also can't do very much to me this close to the tower. And then we can use our Q to just clear out the lane. Enemy team is missing, so I'm going to ping danger. They're likely turning in. We do not have our Q, so I had to wait to check. Looks like the Butcher went back for some health. We could just come in here and poke at the enemy monk, try to push him back. There's some stuff going on down here, though. Going to reposition. We are a little overextended right here, though. Thrall is moving down. Can we take down the enemy Gem Raynor with my Q? Yes, I can. And now focusing the enemy Zagara, but our positioning all of a sudden is pretty bad. So we're just going to cast our W and back up. Trying to focus. They have a lot of healing on their team, between self-healing between the Sonya and the Butcher. So we are going to have to actually really focus these targets down. Same thing with Raynor too, actually. They have a Raynor on their team. So they're going to be able to self-heal a lot, which is going to make the enemy Charism's job of healing a lot easier. Looks like Zagara a little out of position, though. We're going to cast Inspire and try to walk in. Now the enemy Monk looking like he's in too deep, too, but we are not going to be able to take him down. And again, our passive healing kicks in. That's plenty of healing for us. And then when we decide we need to back away, all we do is hit him with the Q. This is not necessarily the build I would recommend learning Raynor on, but fucking, I don't know what I would recommend on Raynor because I've had some very spotty success. At level 1, if you're just picking him up for the first time or you're trying to learn how to play an assassin, I would recommend Give Me More, and then at level 4, Vampiric Assault. The idea is you're increasing your self-healing, so you can afford to position incorrectly a little bit more. Looks like they may be taking down the Butcher here. Zeratul is branded and just trading with the Butcher. Zeratul does blink away at the last second. When you're branded, Zeratul blink away right away. The Butcher could have died a lot faster there, basically. Alright, so we're just pushing the top uncontested. The enemy team not really responding to us. They were kind of fighting in the middle there, but we're totally fine. Sonya chasing down Tychus in the middle lane. Sonya actually making her way up here now. The Spear Slam combo, you can see there from Sonya, does add massive amount of damage to Raynor. If we're at like 50% health, she can kill us with that combo before our healing even kicks in. So we do really have to be careful when we are engaging her. At level 10, I am going to go for Hyperion. Raynor's Raiders definitely has its place. The Banshees are very good. They're a little bit more situational these days. They used to be the only go-to talent, in my opinion. And honestly, on a single target, you could probably get a little bit more damage out with them. But just the overall siege capability. Remember, this map is pretty much all about siege. And the team fight capability of Hyperion is something I didn't want to pass up this game. Remember, They have a lot of self-healing, so maybe focusing a single target down with the Banshees would have been a better strategy, but I was trying to spread my damage out a little bit more, kind of make it so all of them are taking damage at one time, and maybe Karazim can't keep up, because Karazim, he has AoE healing, but definitely not very strong single target healing, so that was basically my strategy there. The Hyperion does fade before it's able to do too much structural damage, but it did help us take down the objective. Now it'll be moving down to the bottom lane. Raynor, I believe right now, is actually the highest win rate assassin, and I can't quite seem to make that work for myself. Keep in mind, I could tell you, concepts for playing this game or playing certain characters, but I have certainly not mastered every character. Looks like she's going to get away here. Firing off the Q just for a little bit more damage. And, of course, messing up Tyrande stun. That probably would have secured the kill. Good job. I'm a good teammate. These structures, pretty much out of ammunition, will go in. Inspire Tychus, increases attack speed by a crazy amount. Tyrande can actually get incredibly high attack speed as well, depending on her build. So we can actually do a lot of siege damage here if we wanted to. Zagara coming in to reinforce now, though, is going to force us back a little bit. When playing versus Zagara, she can do a lot of damage over time. So when I see those Hydralisks come out, I do generally like to back up and try to kill those Hydralisks before they do too much damage over time. The Banshee's coming out by the enemy gym Raynor. I'm going to try to focus them down before they kill our Tychus. Job done. Backing up now, we are going to pick up Giant Killer and maybe try to re-engage to help Thrall, but no, he was a little too far away from us to save. Now the enemy team has 5 members down to the bottom lane pushing in. We do have a mule on our bottom fort, which is going to keep it alive a little bit longer. A great stun going out. Just remember, I have to be very careful versus this Sonya. If she hits me with that Impale, I'm pretty much going to die. Or that Spear of the Ancients, excuse me. You knew what I was talking about. Here we go. Going to fire the Hyperion off in this general direction. Trading directly into Sonya now, trying to take her down. We can shoot our Q that way. Was trying to deal some damage to the enemy Zagara. We do take her down with the Hyperion. And now we're basically forced to reposition. We do have our E ability off cooldown, so I can probably flank around and maybe pick up a kill here. Here we go. Inspire. We take down Jim Raynor. We go in. We kill the Butcher. And now we move in on Karazim. Karazim probably can't kill me by himself, but with the help of our Zeratul, we are successful. That was very good. We basically won a 3v5 there. 4v5 there. That was very nicely done. Janitor Raynor with the cleanup. Alright, the spiders are spawning for our team yet again. You can see it's really easy to get stacks on this map. We're already sitting at 29, and quite honestly, I haven't been trying that hard to get them. Just kind of being in lane and pushing on this map, they really do accumulate very quickly. And the fact that you can move from lane to lane so fast is extremely helpful. Sonya has respawned. I believe, yep, she just used the spear, which means she doesn't have an escape, and we're going to take her down. We need to clear out these Banshees before they do too much damage, and then move in on the offensive. Trying not to position too aggressively. We don't... Okay, the Butcher is top, so we do know where the Butcher is. Sonya's dead, so that does allow me to position much more forward than I would normally be able to. Jim Raynor definitely works best on a well-rounded team when you have a warrior, support, that kind of thing. But you always want to be on the back line. If at any point you find yourself directly in front of the enemy team, odds are you're probably doing the wrong thing. Odds are. At this level range, I feel like this is where a lot of people make a mistake. You could say it's a mistake. You could argue that it's not. But Berserk definitely seems like it's a good talent. We may have to... Yeah, we're going to be super late to this. It's a really good VP to allow me to catch back up, though. You cannot recall in time for that. He is going to drop all those butts there. I'm just going to go ahead and pick up my talent. The Divine Palm is going to keep the enemy Sonya alive, and unfortunately, we do lose those spider butts. The Hyperion actually able to zone them out of this little choke point, and then we were able to pick up this camp using my Q to secure that kill there. So, the talent I picked up at level 16... Instead of going for Berserk, Berserk increases your attack speed and movement speed by a shit ton. So you're going for an auto attack build here. Why isn't that good? Well, quite simply because getting a stun on your Q allows you to control the battlefield a little bit more. That's another thing that Raynor pretty much lacks. He doesn't have any crowd control at all except for a little knockback. Now, when we use our stun, when we use the penetrating round, and it connects with the target, they are going to be stunned for 1.5 seconds, which is actually a really, really long time. Once we hit level 20, we will be getting another attack speed upgrade, which is going to allow us to deal a lot of damage to that target in that 1.5 seconds. We could probably get off 2 or 3 attacks before they can really move away. Now, I have not been using that talent, and I think that's one of the places my build has been going wrong, so that's why we're adjusting for that today. My positioning here is extremely questionable. I'm trying to take the Banshees out before they do too much damage, recasting Inspire, and then trying to Marine Micro my way in. Some people have asked me how I do the attack a target on the move without right-clicking on them. The Butcher now moving in. I did not react fast enough. We are stuck in his radius, but we should be able to take him down. Again, that knockback, that stun there, actually saved me. It bought me enough time for my team to reposition around the Butcher and take him down before he was able to burst me. That's super important. We should keep this push going. Honestly, I don't see too much of a reason to leave. I'm going to fire the Hyperion off. We do have Tychus and Thrall on our team here doing work. The enemy team, Jim Raynor, moving in now. We're going to stun Jim Raynor with the Sunder and my Q. Trying to reposition now. Just barely dodging that maul. I should be able to Marine Micro away from this. Basically, all you do is you hit A on your keyboard and then left click, and it'll attack the first thing in that direction. So you can see here, I can choose to, I can try to focus down particular members of the team. It's a little buggy in certain instances. Most of the time you want to use it when you're running away from someone to get some more attacks in, you know, in between each shot. So the idea is, here, let me show you. The idea is we shoot, we move, attack, move, attack, move, attack, and that stops you from having to right click on the guy again. It's a pretty good strategy. It takes some practice. I'm still not crazy good at it, but it's definitely something that, I mean, if you're serious about trying to be good at a ranged assassin, you should probably spend the time to master that. Looks like we waited for the entirety of the enemy team to spawn, and now we're going to be taking boss. Again, we can just inspire all of our allies here, increase our attack speed, increase their attack speed. Hyperion's going to be off cooldown in 20 seconds, so we can fire it at the enemy team by the time they get over here, probably, but it looks like they're not even going to respawn to this. At level 20, by far the talent that's going to increase your damage output the most is Nexus Frenzy. Increases your attack speed by 20% and attack range by 20%. Remember, Jim Raynor already has one of the longest attack ranges for any ranged assassin, and now we are increasing that range by another 20%. Look how far away I can hit the Sagara, and then we can just use our Inspire with the movement speed upgrade that we got at level 7 to just chase after her. It is super deadly. It is super good. The boss is pushing the core, so I'm just going to move up. That Hyperion was intended to take down the building. I didn't look at its health first. Repositioning to dodge the Sonya attacks, and now moving in on the core. We're just going to continuously cast Inspire and take this down, and that is going to be good game. So this is Jim Raynor. I think I talked about literally everything I wanted to talk about, and I'm pretty happy about that. Like I said, I have been using some different talents at level 16, and they haven't really been working out for me. But the stun on your Q at level 16 feels to me like it's pretty mandatory if you want to have a consistent success rate. At least in a solo queue setting. I mean, if you're playing with a pre-made, you can do whatever the fuck you want to do and probably make it work. But here's the talents. Once again, Seasoned Marksman, Focused Attack, Revolution Overdrive, Hyperion, Giant Killer. I didn't really talk about it much. When you attack someone, you deal an extra 1.5% of the hero's maximum health. Really, really, really good versus warriors. Pretty decent versus Sonya and the Butcher. I mean, basically, it just gives us more damage every time we right-click. Then Bullseye. The first enemy hit by your Q is going to be stunned for 1.5 seconds, and the Nexus Frenzy, which is a gigantic attack speed increase. If you didn't want to get Giant Killer, I don't know. Maybe Relentless Leader, which is just like the Relentless talent. You're not CC'd for very long. That might be good. That might be good. Could help you stay alive a little bit more. You are pretty susceptible to stuns. Like I said, if you're ever out of position, you are going to be taken down. But that's my thoughts of Raynor, why he's so good, why everyone's playing him lately. I really enjoy him. Like I said, I've just kind of had some... I've had some off and on success rates with him. How do I view my my match history? Yeah, it has not been too good. 3 losses in a row and then a win. I do have some other wins down there, but, you know, whatever. He's currently level 8, so we could be leveling him up here pretty quick. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. The face cam should be returning soon. Just wanted to get this done and get it out to you guys. I've had a really long week, and hopefully all of that is behind me.